Okay, so to recap, secular society still has a god, is still religious, even, whether you're just a stupid person who's just interested in pop culture, or you're, an academic person who's really well read and in a lot of published articles or whatever, then, you know, you're still trapped in this basic way of understanding the Western self, right? And so your God, and if you're a rational, intelligent, educated person, your God is knowledge. You worship understanding stuff and having stuff. Understanding stuff is basically having stuff. So whether you're, if you're a materialist in the physical world, not the materialist like um, a positivist scientific naturalism or something, but just you like to gather material things, you like nice things, um, you like to have things. And if you're a person who likes to have knowledge, you also like to have things, to have ideas to store in your head and say whenever you want to. You can say them. If you have ideas in your head, you have all this knowledge. You can talk about it. It gives you something to talk about. So you have this tool to throw at people, right? When they ask questions, you can say blah 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 blah. Yeah, I read about that. Blah blah. And they're both basically the same. So if you're a stupid person, then that's God, and if you're a smart person, then maybe this is God. I don't know. But so let's relate these videos. ZZZ3333 Zach said that he responded to Ian Crosland's video, and he also responded to uh, the clones don't need guidance or something. I'll post that. I don't remember what his name is, but and basically they're trying to figure out what the bus is and how to get on the bus and or get off the bus, maybe in one metaphor, and get on the bus in another metaphor. Get on the bus of art as your life, or life as your art, and which is basically a spiritual kind of a view, I think. And I think the thing that distinguishes though is it's not like art like we know of art now. It's art in a selfless way, because art, as we've typically thought of it, is very egotistical, and the artist gets lost in their own personal experience, right? They express what they feel, and it's unique, and the more unique it is, the better, and the more subtle, because once that's the point where you got at postmodern art, like everything has been done, so it's just like, well, I'm gonna splat some paint on there, or I'm gonna like arrange these objects in this bizarre way that you would never find in real life, even in your wildest dream. And somehow, just because it's new, it's art. It's new. It's mine. It's wholly what I can do. That's nice, but it also eats up resources, like I said in the last video. And the new way to live, if we're gonna survive, is sure selfish in another way, selfish in a more widely dispersed concept of self, or feeling of self, or experience of self. It's a self not located here, or you know here, or with my family, or my city, or my state, or my country, maybe my planet, especially my planet, is a good one maybe to jump to, because most people aren't even there yet. But then there's the cosmic view, right? Which informs the Earth view to a large extent, because people like the pagans had an Earth view. Aristotle had an Earth view. Um, Pythagoras had an Earth view. They had a view that would be perfect for sustaining life nearly indefinitely on Earth, especially with modern scientific understanding. That they just didn't have the ability yet, the technical skill to produce, and we do now. We can make amazing poetry with science and technology. We just haven't applied it in a poetic way, in a creative way. We've applied it in a destructive way. or we set up the conditions beforehand. We design a machine, we let it go in nature, and based on the path of destruction it leaves behind it, basically, we infer the laws of nature. We see how we can break this thing this way and measure it this way, and then slam that one into this one over here and see how it explodes. And biology, slice this open this way and shoot this liquid in here and measure it in a radioactive spectrogram over here. And that's what you basically do, is take things apart in very intricate and detailed ways until, if it's life form, it's obviously dead and mangled and completely destroyed. If it's a physical particle, then it's also destroyed and brought into a laboratory in this very unique situation that we're not really sure if that's how it is in nature, but we're going to infer that we might be close. So the titles of these videos, then: public religion. What does that even mean? A public religion means that your sense of self is greater than your ego. Even though our religions today, all the dead religions, because the real religion is right there, or it's right there. That's the bookshelf, or that's what people today worship. Then there's spirituality, and maybe there's some spiritual people. Who's to say though? What's spiritual, right? Because that's a private matter, and we can't talk about that publicly, right? Can't talk about the books on the top shelf up there. Those are private books, and all the people that write those books, those people are not exactly. They're not right about anything. I have to get you closer. They're not right about anything. They just said some stuff that sounds nice. It sounds good. It sounds beautiful. It's art, right? That's all it is. It's just art. Bunch of art. Bunch of subjective ideas. Especially this one right there. I'm reading that one right now. See how it goes. I haven't got to the meat of it yet, but that's not spirituality. None of that stuff is spirituality, especially not this TV. Let's turn that off. Spirituality is what allows people to be with people as a community instead of a group of individuals competing against one another. And certainly competition is always going to be an aspect of life. But there's a difference between creative competition and destructive competition. Technology as an end is poetry, and it's beautiful and creative. Technology as a means is destructive. It's ugly, it's mechanical, and blind efficiency with no appreciation for context or relationship. And that's a problem when you live on a spaceship, an ecosystem. It's contained, it's a biosphere. It's, it's a huge dome. Huge, infinite, a circle. A sphere. I think when we first got a picture of the Earth from far enough away that the horizon becomes the circumference, imagine, we're on Earth and we see a horizon, right? If we're lucky, usually we see buildings. If we go to the beach, we see a horizon. If we go on top of a mountain, we see a horizon, a three-dimensional horizon. Gene Gebser talks about when, what the fuck was his name? I gotta find it. Gene Gebser talks about Petrarch. He talks about him, actually. And he says that he was the first one to at least write about going to the top of a mountain just for the sake of going to the top of a mountain. In other words, going there to recognize a three-dimensional horizon. So that means he's aware of it, right? He knows it's up there. He's going to go see it, so he can actually bring it back down with him. He could already know what it would be like to experience that from his two-dimensional place, sort of on the ground. Now, if it's especially flat, then yeah, maybe you can see, but it's easier to go on the top of a mountain. to do that. So I have to make another video, actually. Sorry, it's just the way it is again, because I have something else I have to say.